guys. I'm gonna go ahead and call the Woodman Hills Metropolitan District regular board meeting for Thursday, April 28th. In session, it is 5:30. First thing is call to order. Sherry Ringen present.
John Martin present.
Neil Erickson present.
Stevie Popovich present.
And I just want to welcome you all for coming today. Stacy is here virtually. Again, Troy's not here, so do bear with me. Do we want to start with Pledge of Allegiance?
Absolutely. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, John. Next item will be approval or disapproval of the agenda.
Can we make an addition to it?
What's that?
Can we make an addition to the agenda?
Yes.
We do have Brandon from D.R. Horton here tonight.
So do you want to move other business up so that he can do his presentation before executive session?
We'll do it before attorney before, yeah, we'll do that. Other business,
Where are you putting it?
move to 5.5. Horton. It's Brandon.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda as changed.
Okay.
Okay, I have a motion from John and a second from Stacy. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next item is approval, disapproval of board minutes.
Should have read everything, so nothing changed, nothing added that. I move to approve the board minutes as written.
Second.
So I have a motion from Neil and a second from John. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And we will go to other business with Brandon from D.R. Horton.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our proposal today. I'm here to get a water commitment letter, or at least start the process, move forward. My name is Brandon Hoke. I'm a development associate with DHI Communities. This is the multifamily arm of D.R. Horton. So some of you may be familiar with our home living product. We are the multifamily side of that. Basically what we do is we take properties, one lot, develop our Casitas product, which is a townhome product, or a duplex product, or we're starting to push into our three-story garden product. Basically this here, again, is a commitment letter for water and sewer services for property. Property is 8507 Eastonville Road. Is at the northeast corner of Eastonville Road and Judge Orr Road. The property is currently zoned RR5, which is the rural residential 5-acre district, low-density, single-family. We are going through the straight rezoning process in El Paso County to rezone this to RM12, rural residential multifamily, 12 dwelling units per acre. Part of that review and approval is, again, the commitment letter from you guys saying you guys can provide water and sewer services. The site's 31 acres, it's roughly 19 acres net. We are looking at doing 214 dwelling units. This would be our paired duplex product. It looks very much like a townhome product itself. It looks very similar to D.R. Horton's typical homes that they do for purchase. This lot will be a single lot, deed restricted, which means at no point in time can we ever break these parcels out into individual. It'll be one single lot for sale if it ever goes up for sale. Again, this is a for-rent product. 214 units, 51 bedrooms, 106 2 bedrooms, 58 3 bedrooms is what we're proposing for this property.
What's the location again, in the corners?
Northeast corner of Eastonville Road and Judge Orr Road.
So it goes almost to the school, and
And
almost
just
to
off the
24.
Next to Liberty, yeah.
Yeah.
Have to do some review as far as doing that commitment on that. I think we gotta get some other information from that. Is that correct, J.D.?
Yes, because it was slated for 105
Okay.
SFEs. They're just doubling the SFEs.
So 105, and you guys are looking at 214 SFPs?
If you define SFEs by unit.
Single.
By types, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, single family units.
Entities or
Yep.
SFU?
And these are all duplexes,
these are all duplexes, correct?
so
And
2
then-
taps per
Per
building.
unit. Yeah. per
Correct.
building.
Okay. And then primarily, the function of it's purely for rent?
Yes, this will be a all for rent product.
Okay.
We will also have a clubhouse on there, so I guess you could say it's 215 SFEs.
Is a clubhouse gonna be equivalent to 1 SFE?
Depends on the meter size, right?
Depends
How
on the
big is
fixtures that
clubhouse
would
is?
be.
Are you putting a pool in,
What
or?
the function of it is.
There will be a pool, yes.
Okay,
And so there'd be multiple SFPs in there.
right,
And we can coordinate with you guys on what that equates to.
okay. I think we take into consideration, I mean, we're in the beginning phase of this.
Yeah, so we've
Right.
we've gone through the LOI process, we've made signed a contract with the seller, and we're starting the rezoning process. Part of that rezoning process is obviously meeting with you guys and confirming you guys can commit to that much.
What's the time frame for acquisition for you guys?
Oh, we will do closing, I believe, 30 days after site plan, a full site plan approval.
Okay. New timeline with the Pasco County is,
Yet to be determined, they're still determining how long the rezone process is gonna be. Basically, if there's opposition from the neighborhood, we'll have to go to city council and board of county commissioners, and if there's not, then they're not gonna force us to do that.
You're gonna have lots of opposition from it. I can tell you that, right? There was a plan for that piece of land a year ago, where it was gonna be a bank and storage units. The people in that, across Eastonville,
Mm-hmm.
were all up in arms over that plan, so.
yeah. And the building process and everything's going on right now, so what's the timeline that you need approval on water supply and sewage supply?
My best estimate is gonna be the next 30 days,
30 days?
if possible.
Just so we know where our timeline is. We'll have to gather some more information, I think, in order to move in that process. The board would be pretty well back and forth, so we can figure it out pretty quickly. But we'll have to talk to our water and wastewater enterprises to know what we have available, what's in the room as far as offering stuff.
Okay.
So, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you guys very much.
Any other business?
Any other business we need to talk about before we move on? Attorney's report?
We have 2 major things going on. Amendments to the service plan and an arbitration with Paintbrush. Both the contents of which are contract negotiations and litigation / arbitration, so the content of those will be discussed in executive session.
Any other business?
Anything else, Ted?
Oh, no.
Perfect.
Okay, we'll move on. Approval, disapproval of financials.
All right. So, looking at our March financials, what you have provided in front of you is the financials that I provided from the format is the same as last month. So, talking with Stacy, we may make a little bit more modifications just to get a little bit more information, but overall, what you have in front of you is the district as a whole.
and then it breaks it down by individual enterprises. So for the district as a whole, March total income was budgeted at $921,621. Came in at $928,959, so above budget from a net income or total income perspective. If you go to net ordinary income, budget for net ordinary income for the month of March was $230,414. Came in at $394,808. So not only did we make more money on the profit side, we also decreased our expenses in the month of March. So you're seeing an overall positive for the district. That breakdown, again, enterprise-wise. Going further, Park and Rec, a lot of credit to Jed and his team, what they're doing over there. Had a really good month from a revenue perspective, continuing to see that revenue climb due to just additional activities, especially from the new gym. So great job to Jed and his team for being able to do that. You can see that on that total income line. So income for Park and Rec was budgeted at $227,716 for the month of March. Ended up coming in at $239,104. So I think that's important to note that our budget is not set up seasonality. So it's a flat, just take, hey, we expected revenue divide by 12. We all know that's not necessarily how seasonality really works, which we will work to correct that going in 2023. So that, to me, is great because we're not in the peak seasons yet for Park and Rec. And to be able to exceed that budget already is very favorable for the district, but also obviously very favorable for that enterprise. If you look at the net income, also very positive for Park and Rec. Budget was $11,547, came in at $40,035. Moving on to water, so JD and his team came in total income budgeted $351,636. Income was $355,924, so again, positive despite seasonality. Net income for water was budgeted at $123,000, did come in a little soft at $58,000. So we are seeing some expenses kind of creeping up here and there that are taking into consideration, again, that seasonality. We will see that start to fluctuate and come back down as we get into the more robust months.
As long as we can keep people from drunk driving and running over fire hydrants.
Yeah, that would be nice. On the wastewater side, month total income was budgeted at $342,000, came in a little soft at $329,000. Net income for wastewater was budgeted at $95,000, but came in at $107,000. So despite the soft performance on the revenue side, wastewater was able to reduce expenses to increase net income. So overall, very favorable month considering, again, beating dead horse, seasonality effect. We are in a very strong position from a financial perspective. I think we're going to see some headwinds, especially with the Park and Rec having a lot more activities going on. So I expect income to continue to rise, especially on the development side. As we already heard, we have more developers that are looking to want to come into the community. So the district is in a growth mode. Any questions from the board?
Are we outlining anything as far as operational costs and cost-cutting measures as well as doing this? I know that we've got some leftover stuff that's been laying around that you guys have been actually selling off and getting rid of, not to go into details on it, but I know that we're not hanging on to that kind of fruit.
Yeah, I think everybody is trying to optimize our budgets from both revenue and expenses. So yes, you're correct. We are looking at assets and saying, okay, what assets can we get rid of that we don't actually need? So we're in the process of working through that. I will say we have also moved the district to fleet management from a plate perspective, so it sounds really trivial, but prior to this change, we were paying 20 some odd cents per plate, per vehicle, trailer, whatever it is, every single year. We moved that to a fleet system, so now have red plates. We pay one fee pays registration for the life of that plate. So we will net see some gains there. So those are the types of cost-cutting measures that are going in place, that will affect every district, not just one.
Excellent. And then we're all in control as far as hiring and salary positions and hourly positions. And I noticed that we've got a few job postings that are up and running too, right?
Yes, so we have, Wally, if you want to talk a little bit about where you're at from an employment perspective.
I'll get to it, well, unless you want to hear now. So, we have no collections crew. So, the last guy resigned earlier this month, so,
Is that you?
I guess I'm it. If you
Excellent.
see me working the streets, don't.
You know what's up.
Like, boy, he's out of his office, what is he doing? Why is he carrying that gallon jug of water? Excellent. Okay, that's all I have for questions.
Stacy, did you have any questions?
No, I didn't have any questions, thank you.
Okay, I will have someone make a motion to approve the financials.
A motion to approve the financials is written.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Neil and a second by John and Stacy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Welcome. So we have talked about other business. Did you have something you wanted to talk about?
None in particular, we're just here to visit.
All right.
We like it. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you. Water report?
Alright.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah, let's go Parks and Rec.
Wanna go Parks and Rec first?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's next.
I'm good tonight.
He just keeps sending me pictures of dead lawns, so I really kind of know what he wants.
That's exactly.
It's called water bed.
All right, lots has been going on, kind of like what Carter has been hinting at or
Start the
talking about.
3-minute clock now.
What's that?
Yeah, did you start your timer, John?
Yeah, it's on.
Here we go. We'll start with maintenance. We've done everything from installing new garbage cans throughout, fertilized fields, some seeding, weed control, that was all done by True Green. New water fountains downstairs and one up here at CCW. All sorts of day-to-day, obviously maintenance type stuff for the guys. Our irrigation system, we had scheduled to get it up and running. We wanted to hire that one out this year, just with a pretty new crew of maintenance guys. And also, I don't know if you know, we lost one earlier in the month. So with that all said, we hired A&R Landscaping, who's been doing our drainage work. Also, we have spent, we're going to spend $12,000 and change on getting the lines up and running, the heads done, and all of that type of stuff so that we can get some water. And I'll kind of come back to that whole conversation of irrigation later on when we're talking about Falcon Park, but right now RCE is up and running. Parts of Meridian Ranch are up and running, and parts of CCW and this side are up and running. The problem is it was not winterized correctly, and we have breaks all over the place. So when you're turning these water meters on or whatever, you have leaks everywhere. So they are slowly going through, and they promised me by Monday they will have everything repaired and up and running, and the water flowing the way it's supposed to.
Who did the winterization?
Our maintenance crew in late fall, so. Those two gentlemen aren't with us, but, not to point fingers, but it just wasn't done correctly, so we're fixing that now. Activities, as Carter was talking about, we are running a million different things. They're all generating some revenue. You see March revenue there was 22,000 and change. Usage just at RCE, and again, I think I've explained, that's easy to kind of, people have to check in. Here's a little bit more difficult to figure out how many people are coming in and using this facility. April revenue, when I gave that to you a week ago, was 98 and change. We were up to 15,000 and change for April already. Usage is up to 3,662. Year-to-date revenue is a little over that. It's up to $66,021 and change. So revenue, as Carter was saying, is steady and still coming in.
So you've already exceeded last year's total revenue in the first quarter?
Our goal is always to beat month to month from last year. That's kind of my staff and myself goal every month. So to answer that question, if you compare it to last year or the year before or any other year prior, we are beating those numbers pretty good.
Excellent.
So I think last year total for the year, I think it was right around 120 that we brought in. So we're more than halfway through, or past half point rather, with revenue, and we're not even halfway through the year. So we're optimistic that we're going to crush last year's numbers also. New build, everything is pretty much done. The wall padding was installed the other day. Looks really sharp. I think I sent you guys those pictures. Yes. If I'm wrong. Transitions are coming in on Monday. And after they put those transitions or ramps in on Monday for all the different entryways, they're moving over to RCE. They're going to sand and stain the aerobics floor. So that was that package. So next week will be a good week for us. Outdoor pavilion, I am still waiting. They did the soil sample. They were waiting for the report the last I talked to them. And then once they get the report, they can finalize that design and we can start moving forward with that. Obviously a way slower pace than my personality likes. I wanted the pavilion done by first concert, but I'm not too optimistic about that at this point. Horseshoe Park, I think we got a good deal. I don't know if you've driven past there recently. They were able to use the millings from the RCE and the CCW parking lot to use that as a base for that driveway, which saved us $18,000. And we were able to take the excess or leftover money from the parking lots. We had budgeted $195 for the two parking lots. We were able to use some of the excess money, which was $36,685, and get that driveway installed for a reduced amount. So I think it was kind of a win-win. I think it looks beautiful, and I think that allows us to really, I have grandiose plans down there. I think that now we have that entryway, and once we get some signage there, it really is going to draw some crowds down there. So that's kind of the goal there.
Is that the putt-putt golf location you said about?
We'll get to that later on. I want my baseball field down in Horseshoe. It's doing the cookies down there.
Yeah. Zip lines.
Yep, we got all sorts of stuff. So piggybacking on that, parking lots, as you can tell, are completed. We were under budget between the two parking lots and the driveway added. We came into just under 162,000. And like I said, we had budgeted 195, so a little bit of excess there. Pool lining outside, it is prepped and ready to go. They were scheduled, when I wrote this, May 2nd. I got the call yesterday. They are coming May 9th to start the lining, but we're still good as far as time-wise. Should take them a week to 10 days to finalize everything and then fill the pool and get it ready for our summer use. So I think we're still good there without any delay of opening. I'll kind of skip the drainage for 1 second and come back to this since we're talking about pools. Aquatech, Front Range Aquatech, finalized everything in the pool house behind you here. So CCW is ready to go. Once this line is done, we can fill it, and the new pump is in. the new chlorinators in, all the new valves, looks really cool. And, should be way more efficient this year and not have, knock on wood, not have any algae issues or closures with our new stuff. So we're excited about that. As far as RCE, we are still waiting on parts. They were supposed to start last week, and it was this week, and now they are not giving me a timetable. They're still waiting on some parts to come in, and they don't want to come back and forth, I think, a bunch of times, so they're waiting till everything's in to come out. So we're kind of stagnant over there as far as our repairs and replacements over there. Back to drainage. Drainage, I don't know, again, if you've driven through, I can't remember if I sent you some of those pictures or not.
You did.
Bennett Pond, we continue, our maintenance guys, they do go once a day, once every other day to continue to clean out that drain. But that lake is gone pretty much, and it was never supposed to be there to begin with. And they've done, just between cutting everything down and just getting all that gook and everything else on a daily or every other day basis, the water's flowed out of there pretty good. Safeway Pond, all the waterways, as you can tell, everything's been cut down and ready to go. As we talked about last meeting, we were kind of waiting on some definitive numbers. They were projecting around 250,000 for their next phase, which is now coming in, cleaning out some of the big trees, cleaning out and rechanneling some of these channels. So with that, we have, sorry, I skipped one piece. For the Bennett Pond, we were able to, and I think Carter was working on this, I don't know if it was sent out yet or not, but trying to invoice Meridian Ranch for a piece of that. They are responsible for, I believe it's 40% of anything we do for Bennett Pond and that little inlet leading in. So that part cost us a little over 10 grand. So I think we were invoicing them for about $4,300 and change to try to offset some of our costs, which was hopefully a good thing. Phase 2, A&R Landscaping is projecting 223,000 and change. That's total for everything as far as Safeway Pond all the way up through the disc golf course, past Community Park, and then rechanneling some stuff at Bennett Pond and the inlets that lead into, for both sides of Bennett Pond. Pretty substantial amount of money. I don't know if we want to kind of piece it together. They, sorry, I'm just looking for it really quick. Kind of broke it down for us by section. Did I send this to you guys? So if you kind of want to pick and choose of what we think is a priority.
It's in the executive session packet.
Okay, should I wait?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so we'll get to that later. What else do we have here? CCW renovation downstairs. We have a good price. We have the lottery funds to do it, remove the walls. So that is a typo, I apologize, it's not 5,000, 15,000 for the rubber flooring. I just got that just now as I was reading this thing. And they're scheduled to start early May, where we can really open up that space. It allows for different things. One is more equipment, which we're constantly being asked for at both facilities. Anything from rowing machines to different types of back machines, stair climbers, right? You kind of name it, everyone asks for different things and has their own personal point of view on that. But it does allow us, by shrinking those locker rooms a little bit, taking out those middle walls. We've had JDS Hydro and I can't remember the other engineering company double check. Nothing is weight bearing, so that can all come down and really open that up. We can go with a less expensive way of doing the floor. So once you take the walls out, you obviously don't have, open floor where you have one floor that came and then you have a gap, so to speak. So we can buy just flooring and fill in those gaps temporarily and just kind of piece it together, so to speak. That'll cost us about $1,000 and glue those rubber pieces down. And then you have a continuous floor. They're all going to kind of look different is the negative, or you can just kind of tear it out while we're doing it and pay a little bit more. Like I said, we do have the lottery funds to support all this. So I'm kind of throwing that, guys, at you and see which avenue you want to go.
No matter running a proposal for both sides to see what the cost is and then make sure that we're within budget.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I said I'd run numbers both ways,
Okay.
the cost, time frame, and then look at whether or not it fits your budget.
So we have, the numbers are sitting in front of you. You have 29,000 and change, so we'll round up 30,000 for the walls, patching everything, painting the entire downstairs. Then you have, I guess, I'll go high for the moment, 15,000 for the flooring, that's 45,000. And we have, and Carter can double check this, but plenty of money in the lotto fund to cover that.
Jed's piggy bank.
It's there for a reason, correct? So,
Yeah.
I think it's a good time and opportunity.
8,000?
8,000 out of the 200 and,
$191,000.
I think we wanna be conservative, see what's going on, but I don't think it's a bad
for
idea.
future projects. and
Yeah,
things.
we've got a lot of things that are coming up here fairly soon,
Yep.
that's gonna hit the community pretty hard, so we'll see what we come up with. Cool.
So that, I think, covered it. Any questions?
You went over by 7 minutes.
Yeah, it's not bad though.
That's not bad.
That's still half of what normal. Good job, Jed.
Good job.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
And on a serious note, everything is looking amazing. These parking lots look great. Everything that's going on around here is looking really good. So
Thank you.
thank your team for us. They're doing a great job.
Definitely will. Definitely will.
I think the homeowners have seen the improvements. How did you guys like the parking lot out there?
Yeah, it was nice.
Your painters missed one spot.
Oh,
It's
Oh,
supposed to be a handicap access,
oh,
at the north end at the ramp.
By code, I can tell you the conversation, by code, we could not put it back there. Because of the, again, I might ruin the wording of this, but the slant or the slope of the sidewalk.
At the ramps.
Yes, the ramps. So it was either tear out all of your sidewalks and ramps, or put your
there you go.
handicap spots across the way.
Somebody comes in there and they'll sue. That's what will happen,
Going by what Martin Marietta.
yeah.
Yeah. Cross-check it and see, make sure that we're as far as compliance goes. I understand the need for it. and it's doing
Yeah,
something.
well, I know one of the early board members in here,
Mhm.
20 years ago. That's how he used to get up there all the time,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was the access, that's why the access was
Yeah,
there.
well, he's been pretty good about checking all the compliance, especially with the new building, but we'll cross-check it again and make sure that we don't have any issues. We don't want the district to be sued for something that we can fix easily.
Like I said, it's just somebody will come in sooner or later and sue the district.
Sure.
And that's why,
If all else fails, we'll have the information in case somebody wants to sue, and
yeah.
we can say we did the due diligence as far as that's concerned with our compliance. But, and the other side is that if, if it doesn't necessarily have to be compliance to make it right, so, so. Okay, excellent.
Stacy, have any questions?
Stacy?
No, I don't have any questions, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, water report?
Okay, so we'll go and see if I can do this under 3 minutes. All right, we had a problem next door to our plant there. We had a power surge that took out a critical component that keeps our SCADA system going. And blew out a fuse. We didn't lose anything, or none of the plumbing blew apart because the wells couldn't shut down fast enough. Those were off-site. So after we determined what was all the problems, we replaced the battery backup. We had one on hand, and we replaced the fuse. And then after we got the plant out of its upset condition, it went back into service. The SCADA upgrade so far with 5-star automation, they got all of our PLCs, and they are ready to install. They are waiting on the alarm platforms, which is the alarms that goes to the on-call person. We're just waiting to see if it'd be feasible to do the cellular rather than the dedicated Comcast line for data. So that's what we're hammering out at this time. Our filter plant next door to the office, the district office there is our filter plant 2. During its operation, a critical part had broke, and we cannot find a new or used item because they're obsolete. So we cannibalized one of the filters that was out of service for parts, just to get that plant back up and going. But so as you know, that plant is overdue for an upgrade. So you'll see something later on in the year for the cost of the upgrades for that plant. Also, Carter and I, we have been working on the ARPA funds application. We completed it last Friday. We're waiting for the county for their response. And then bent grass right now is in Falcon Marketplace. They're still building homes over there. 5-Star Car Wash just broke ground in Falcon Marketplace. The staff has had installed 7 new meters up to this month, as well as 6 meters for Falcon Highlands for their meter upgrade. And finally, for the operation side summary here, the sanitary survey from CDPDG, that's our watchdog, will be conducted on 5/10/22 coming up here in May, and also 5/11 for the wastewater. Our water quality results here for our Baptiste were good, and there were no current groundwater calls. We got 3 fire hydrants that were serviced due to the recent fires that we had in the area. And as a reminder for our district-wide meter upgrade for the community, we want to make sure that they're looking at their billing with a letter that's in there to make their appointment if they haven't done so. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Not everybody's getting a paper bill, and some people are just doing electronic.
So we're working on an email blast for those people that go that option. So that will come out if it hasn't already. I'll double check my staff.
Okay. Did you put the board on the list?
On the e-blast?
No. On the list for getting upgrades?
Well, the residents, so yeah.
I'm scheduled.
He's scheduled.
Nobody
He
asked
called.
me. So, okay.
Carter,
Yes,
I'll
Stacy?
be calling tomorrow, and then you can just pick a day for me. Do we have to be home?
Yes.
Oh.
Someone has to let us in. It's only 30 minutes.
Okay, never mind.
And need some more chairs.
And we are on track for meters showing up.
Yes. That's what, from the last update I got, we still have the target date of the 9th of May, showing up the first allotment.
I know we've brought up, JD and I brought up fire hydrants multiple times. Just to let the board know, the 47 fire hydrants that JD has identified as the most at risk have been put on our P&L policy, and we have made that premium payment, so they are covered now.
Excellent.
Wastewater?
Alright, so like JD talked about, still working 5-Star on our skate upgrade. They put the, I think I mentioned last board meeting, they put the alarm system in at the wastewater plant, so it's no longer going, for now, going through the office. We found some major bugs today that, so we shut some equipment out to do some maintenance, and the alarm went off every 10 seconds, so. We got the bugs to tweak there. Hired a new wastewater operator, seems like he's gonna work out really good. As I mentioned before, the last questions guy, ironically, put his 2 weeks notice in to go work with the other guy that left, so. It is what it is, so. We got postings out there, you guys have seen, trying to find someone. And actually desperate enough that I'm actually doing an interview on Saturday, so. Gotta do what you gotta do in this day and age. Still having some issues back and forth between UE compression and WAG over the blower shaft that broke last year. A lot of finger pointing going on, so I don't know when that's gonna be resolved, so we still only have 2 out of 3 blowers. RCMR is complete, our yearly lab certification testing arrived, we're gonna start working on that next week. And B49 bus barn project is moving forward. gave a will serve letter, not a commitment yet. JDS Hydro's still looking over the, everything they have inside the building, figure out tap sizes, we'll have to determine at some point how we're gonna charge them. Still working on stuff for Falcon Marketplace and Bentgrass. I'm busy enough, I didn't get time to get a hold of the guy that sold our back truck, but it hasn't been sold. That leads into the next one on here. So years ago when I came on, you guys, the district had purchased a 4-inch diesel pump for emergency situations. Well, the last 4 times we've gone to use it, it hasn't worked. And it's in the shop again, get a new injector pump put in it. So talking with Carter, I think we're just gonna flip that money from the back truck, turn right around, just buy a new 4-inch pump, and sell this off to someone else to let it be their headache. So, but we'll get it fixed and service.
Can we flip that money that way? We don't have to wait till,
It's asset to asset.
You gonna ask for version?
Depreciable asset, that's your favorite.
Yes, it is my favorite.
It is his favorite term. Yeah, gotta love accounting.
And like Judy mentioned, we have our sanitary survey coming up next month, so we're getting everything ready for that. The state's gonna be coming out sometime in the next 2 weeks to check the diesel tank on our generator. But they're on it because the day I got the notice, there was a bad O-ring on the fuel filter on it, and we lost about 25 gallons of diesel all over the place. So we've been digging everything up, trying to rectify that. So our inspector found a manhole in Falcon Marketplace that the previous people had been signed off on. It's one of the major trunks that comes into our main line, and it's still a solid pipe. Nobody ever cut it open. So he's going back to the contractor to see if they'll come in and actually finish the job, or if that's something we have to do because technically we signed off on it. So I'm not sure where we stand on that yet, but before too much stuff is built in there, one way or another, that manhole's gotta get fixed. And then on a side note, something happened last Thursday. So, one of the things we do with the plant upgrade, I'm gonna push to try and make an upgrade to our solids holding, because previous management were tight asses, and tried to use 30-year-old technology and something, so we got, our old mixers are in there yet, that have been in service since we took the plant over for paintbrush. Last week, we had to replace the third one out of there, and it came at a cost to me, so I guess that's the yard with a cut in my hand, so. But this is something we're dealing with, trying to use, everything should have been new in that plant, so I'm hoping if things work out right, we should be able to upgrade some things that should have been done correctly the first time.
Based on that, where are we at with the bar screens on the other setup? Did we ever get that resolved with bar screens?
Don't know.
Still working on that?
Yeah,
Interesting, okay. I thought about that.
that'll lead into something we're gonna talk about later.
Okay. Excellent.
Okay, next item on the agenda is items unfinished from previous meeting.
I don't have anything opposed.
Yeah.
John? Stacy?
No.
Okay, board follow-up on older items. Do you have anything?
I don't have anything on that.
Did you have anything, Stacy?
No.
I do have something on that. That goes back to the bylaws. There was a question asked last week, or last meeting. Carter and I and JD discussed it a couple days ago. So there are some updates that still need to be made. So we're looking for directors to make those changes so we can get them at the next board meeting.
And the bylaws are still open, right? So we haven't closed those up and buttoned that up yet, so we probably want to get that done before the end of next quarter. Probably next few meetings, we probably get it completed.
That's all I had.
Okay.
Okay, next item is public comment regarding current board business not on the agenda.
Do you guys have any questions, or?
I'll be talking to Jed when you're done.
Okay.
Ooh, you're in trouble. Did you have anything, sir?
No, I don't even know if I'm in the right place. This is the first time that I come here.
Where did you wanna be?
511 Woodland Hills
Okay.
meeting.
I think that was last time.
Yeah, that was last night, it was here, this is,
Every fourth Tuesday.
but we can get you a schedule for it, if you get the information down, we can let you know where to look and where to go and so forth, so you can be a part of that meeting.
Okay.
But we appreciate you coming.
Right.
How do you, what do you think so far?
Is this anything to do with 511?
No, this is whole district. Some of the things we do, you know, your water and your water management help us US as far as that goes. So water and wastewater. But if you're looking at HOA and things like that, then 511, that would be that meeting.
Uh-huh.
So,
Okay, so then I'll wait for the next meeting.
okay. Well, you know, welcome, you can tell them you came to this meeting.
Okay.
Tell them this one was better.
Yeah. They love it when you do that, so.
I'm assuming there's no election next month?
No, the election was actually waived, there was no other candidates available.
Sure, makes
Yeah.
sense. Fine.
So the beautiful
It's
thing
about
is,
time.
we saved money, we saved a lot of money by not winning the election.
I was told one of my friends downstairs this morning about, we always used to have a certain competitor, but he doesn't live here anymore.
That would be correct.
That would be correct.
No, his current residence is, that way a ways.
Yeah, and he said he was going back to New York. That's what he told me. He came to my house.
No, he's not in New York.
I think I moved in.
I have a feeling that he's missed, so.
I have a question on the new meters.
Yes.
What is the purpose behind it, besides technology upgrade?
Excellent question. So, you know, one of the things is, and I'll let them detail a little bit more, but I'll give you that rough highlight. Our meters are old, and they're not necessarily, or could be necessarily reading correctly. We don't know, and as they age, they tend to become more accurate or less accurate, depending how you want to look at it. So, part of the upgrade is for technology, the other part is for accuracy, just to make sure. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but we added a system last year called Ion Water. So, and I'm a computer junkie, if you didn't tell, but you can actually do it as a phone app or an iPad app, and you can look at your house, your location, and every hour, every 15 minutes, I think it updates. It'll tell you how many gallons you're using in your house, which is great to sign up for, because if you've got a water leak or a pipe leak or something going on, it'll notify you as well that you've got something draining out of your water system, so.
Yeah, we had a leak 2 years, 3 years ago? No. About a year and a half ago, they came and replaced it.
We replaced the meter then.
Oh, okay.
So
now-
we are checking to see if we need to replace the meter again, so we'll double check.
Yeah, you will.
If you call the district office,
Mhm.
my staff will be able to look at your address, and we will be able to see what meter type you have and whether or not it needs to be replaced.
Right, okay, we'll do that.
And there's no charge
Nope.
to the consumer, so,
Yep.
you know, that's included in the district fees, so, but it's a necessary upgrade. And
So it may be that they had replaced the brass body that had froze and split, but not the transponder. So maybe in that case, for them, it'd be the transponder that would have to be changed out, not the meter.
What's the time frame on changing that? How long does it take the guys to do that?
Well, we have a scheduled 30-minute window. They can probably get it down as little as 10 minutes.
Okay, so it's not gonna take a whole lot of disruption as far as your family's concerned, so. Okay,
I
you
did
no
have a question. Do you have any, speaking of the cellular changes that you're thinking of or doing, do you have like any documentation as such we could take a look at in terms of, you know, decision-making and all of that? The reason I'm inquiring is because, you know, technology has definitely advanced and we understand that. But we'd like to see pros and cons maybe of what's in it for the consumer and what's in it for the district, so.
As far as the cellular side,
Mhm.
okay, as far as meter reading,
Mhm.
okay, sure.
So do you have literature that, some publication, some report, something?
We just have a flyer for that, and it's just basically, it's something just geared for the customer. It's just what we said. It tells you what your water usage is. You set that up. There's nothing that will steal your information or anything like that. It's just information that's given to you through an app.
Isn't this,
Steal the information.
isn't this 3G is going away?
3G is going away because of the carriers are no longer supporting that platform, and our meter read system is on that platform. That's why we had it. upgrade.
So maybe to help a little bit, so a lot of the older technology works on a cell phone carrier signal called 3G.
Right, I'm familiar.
So 3G is dying, we're moving to 4G LTE, and now they're going to 5G and 5G wideband
Mhm.
with all that information. So you probably work in the cellular industry, right?
I don't.
No, okay.
I just know a cell phone.
But you get it?
I had to research.
Okay, excellent. So I think there's no additional fee for having the cell phone service, it's actually just the convenience as far as it goes, so there's no cost difference between the two.
Mhm.
So there's not really a whole lot other than, hey, look, you can take a look at your own stuff and make sure that you see what you see.
Mhm.
The reason why they bring up information stealing and acquisition is because that's something that the district's been focusing on for the last couple of years. We've been tightening up all of our cybersecurity, especially with all the stuff that's going on around the world and so forth. So they've been really, really diligent in changing and upgrading our computer systems. We're bringing a whole new system online that monitors our water gates, water systems, turning, switching pumps on and off, operating our chemicals. That's actually in the works and should be completed by end of year. So technology, unfortunately, as much as everybody wanted to run away from it 5 years ago, you can't do it today. So it's time for us to actually step up, and we have to do what's necessary. The advantage, though, I think, is that our metering systems will actually read wirelessly, is that as an advantage, so we don't have to send a technician out driving around and staring at your front door, taking meter readings. So that's kind of the big advantage, and it's nothing different than what Mountain View Electric's already done. They do it with the electricity side. People were terrified when they put that in. I volunteered and said, come over and do it. But likewise, I also have been able to monitor my electricity use since they put that in there, so I know how much I use. So I don't think, but there's no higher cost differences between that, so I don't know if there's a whole lot to show other than, hey, here's a brochure that says, this is what you can do. So if you need additional information, though, you can ask the district office and, meet with JD or Wally.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah. We're trying to be as transparent as possible with everything we do. There's a lot going on, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Survey says. I feel like, first dealer stay off.
Right?
Dealer.
Okay, so with that, we'll go to item 14, which is executive session to determine positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations under CRS 24-6-4024E, namely matters related to Paintbrush Hills, Pelican Park, and Grandview.
A motion that we move into executive session?
Second.
I have a motion from Neil and a second from John. We are now in executive session.
All righty. And
Bathroom break.
still working?
Okay, so we are now out of executive session.
Time is 9:09.
Can we get a motion to adjourn?
I motion we adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Stacy, you got a motion? I'll second it.
Motion by Stacy, second by Neil. Any discussion? All in favor?
All right.
You're not leaving yet.
You can stop.
Motion passes. We are adjourned.